Hello, and welcome to the Hopkinton Public Library's second Adult Take and Make. If you signed up for our Take and Make in our event calendar, you will be able to pick up materials for the Take and Make this week. We will contact you to confirm your pickup time. If you were not able to sign up on our event calendar, you can still participate by picking up a few basic materials at your local craft store. We will be having more Take and Makes for adults in the future, so be sure to check out our calendar for more events. We've linked to our calendar in the description. This month, we'll be making heart and hand warmers. These little hearts can be popped in the microwave for about a minute for a toasty pocket warmer to keep your hands cozy while you're outside. They also make great Valentine's Day gifts. Let's take a look at our materials. First, we have some red felt. This is just normal craft store felt, nothing fancy. We have a heart template. We'll use this to cut hearts out of our felt. We also have a sewing needle. It has a large eye, which will help us thread it easily. It's been threaded into the scrap of our heart template to keep it safe. Next, we have a bit of embroidery thread. If you participated in our snowflake cross stitch last month, you'll remember we separated out the embroidery thread into smaller strands, but this week we're going to leave it whole. We also have a small baggie of rice. This is about a half a cup of rice, and we'll use it to fill our hand warmers. This rice is what will hold the heat when we microwave the hand warmer. And last, we have our cheat sheet. The cheat sheet has the list of ingredients, the link to the website where we got this idea from, as well as some other resources that might be helpful to you. If you weren't able to sign up to get a kit, there is a link to the cheat sheet in the description. In addition to the materials in the kit, you will also need a pair of scissors. You may also find a Sharpie and a funnel useful, but these are optional. Okay, with that out of the way, it's time to get started. First, I'm going to cut out my heart template. Then, I will use the heart template to cut out 2 hearts out of the red felt. You can hold the template on your felt and cut it out, or you can use a red Sharpie to trace the heart onto your felt and then cut along the traced line. Now we have 2 hearts. Hopefully they're the same size and shape. We will sew these 2 together to make a little pouch which will hold the rice. The next step is to prepare the needle. I will find the end of the white thread and pull out about 2 feet, which is about the length from the tip of my fingers to my elbow. This is a good length of thread to work with. Much longer and it can get tangled very easily. Then we'll thread the needle and make sure that we have 1 long tail and 1 short tail. Great, now we're ready to start sewing. I'm going to start by tying a knot in the long end of my tail. I'm going to make a loop and then thread the loose end of the loop through 2 or 3 times. This will make a bigger knot, which is less likely to pull through the felt fabric and come loose. Now, I'm going to pick up one of my hearts, and close to the edge, I'm going to push the needle straight through. Then, I'll grab my other heart and line it up so that the knot is between the 2 pieces of felt. Now, I'm going to sew around the heart. We're going to use the whip stitch, which is a really easy stitch to do. I'm going to hold my hearts so that the thread is coming out of the back. And then I'm going to take my needle and push it through both layers of felt, from front to back. That is your first stitch. I told you it was easy. I'm just going to repeat that one simple stitch almost all the way around. I'm going to leave about a gap of 1 inch so that I can add the rice. Ah, the magic of cinema. So you can see that I'm about 1/3 of the way around, but I'm almost running out of thread. I need to tie off and start a new thread so that I can make it the rest of the way around. So what I'll do is I'll start a new stitch, but instead of pulling the thread tight, I'm going to take the tail on the opposite side here and wrap it around my needle a couple times. This does a similar thing to what we did earlier, where we tied a knot in the end of our thread. Now to hide my tail, I'm going to take my needle and push it between my 2 layers of felt here into the middle of my heart. And I'm going to pull it through. That will hide my tail and keep it from showing. And I'm actually not going to trim it very close. I'm going to trim it about 1 inch out. That way the tail will stay tucked in, and if it ever comes loose and comes out, I can thread it back in again. Then I will rethread my needle with some more thread and do the same thing again. Once I've gone almost all the way around, it's time to add the rice. If you have a funnel at home, you can put the end of the funnel through the slot in order to help you get the rice in there, but you can also use the plastic baggie as the funnel. I'm going to cut a small corner off the baggie, big enough that the rice can make it through, but not any bigger than the slot is. Then I'm going to shove the corner of the baggie into the slot in the heart and start massaging the rice through. You want to fill it pretty full, enough that it's nice and plump, but not so much that your felt is straining at the seams. If you're like me, you'll get rice all over the floor, but that's what vacuums are for. It's okay if you don't use all of the rice. There's enough felt in here for about 2 hearts, so you should be able to get about 2 hearts worth out of the rice also. Once I've got it as full as I want, I'll remove the plastic bag, pick up my needle again, and close the heart up with more of the whip stitch. Now it's time to tie off. I'm going to thread my needle under my last stitch or my initial stitch. And just like we did to make the knot at the end of the thread that we changed out, I'm going to catch the loop with my needle 2 or 3 times. And then I'll pull the knot tight. Now I could just clip the thread here, but again, it'll look nicer if we hide our tail. So I'll push my needle into my heart again, go most of the way across, and then push my needle out. Now I will very carefully clip my thread where it comes out. Then, with a little massaging, you can push the thread back into the heart. Now it's tucked away and nice and tidy. And there's your heart and hand warmer. Pop it in the microwave for about 1 minute and the rice will retain the heat, making it the perfect pocket companion for these cold months. That's it for today. We hope you enjoyed our take and make. Links to our social media feeds are in the description. Don't forget to like and follow us for more crafts, as well as book suggestions, community news, and more. We have also linked to the website where we got our cute heart pattern. And last but not least, you can also use the link to our calendar to find our next take and make, as well as lots of other fun events for adults, teens, and kids. Thank you for joining us.